Now we see this also, okay, affecting another example of these things is that we see it affecting political change. Um, and let me see. I got a note here, and I'm reading it wrong. So we also see this as affecting political change and having that replace the ordered activity of faith. Okay, or in other words, people are trying to affect change through politics and social change. Okay, affecting political and social change as an activity of faith, and that replaced the ordered activity of faith which was taught by covenant apostles of Jesus Christ. So Christians are trying to produce an environment of peace, okay, trying to control the circumstances of life, all right, and they're trying to produce an environment of peace and security apart from the priesthood of Christ. Now, who taught this activity? Okay, the apostles didn't teach this. Jesus didn't teach this. Okay, while they may be wearing "What would Jesus do" bands, they're answering for themselves. Okay, aren't they? All right. So we see this as also, okay, as personal relationships with loved ones and family members, okay, as those relationships replace the bonds of charity and the fellowship of in the apostles' doctrine, okay, that those things were elevated above, okay, the apostles' doctrine and the apostles' fellowship. Okay, well, who took the faith into that direction? Okay, it wasn't Jesus Christ, and it wasn't the apostles. Okay, what was it? Well, it's private interpretation of scriptures. Okay, that one person emphasized one thing more than another. Okay, and took faith into another direction. Okay? And apart from this, the stewardship of God's grace through His government, okay, they fell into error. All right, so then, hope is always according to the promise. Now, if our hope is in knowing, serving, and loving Jesus, and being conformed to His image in the inner man, all right, then our peace is not of this world, and we live by Christ's fullness as God promised. All right, that fullness is experienced in His daily issuance of grace to the soul, and in the fruit of the Spirit that is formed within the heart. It is also experienced in the purged conscience as the Spirit of God bears witness to His authorship of faith by peace, that it is not triggered by circumstance, equity that is not by principle, wisdom that is not earthly, and knowledge that is not sensual. It is further experienced by our freedom from the wisdom of the world and our freedom from the law of sin and death. Now, while this is the common experience testified to in the writings of the apostles, this is not the common experience testified to among Christians today, is it? Right? Today we hear testimony of endless cycles of sinning, repentance, and apparent forgiveness. Okay, today we see a fellowship that does not center on Christ and His knowledge, but instead upon the issuances of life and the needs of the flesh, the issues of life. Now, this change this change, okay, is an experience that is a predictable result of having left her first love, okay, which you can read about in Revelation, but having left her first love by forsaking the apostles' doctrine, okay, in order to seek out new knowledge, which promised a better Christ, okay, promising a better Christ. Now it's hard to believe that, okay, because we've lost the perspective of that foundation knowledge, okay, but from the perspective of the foundation knowledge, okay, and from the perspective of the throne, this is exactly what was promised, okay, a better Christ. Right? There is nothing better than Christ, okay, and Christ did not need to be improved upon. Right? When you have embraced the foundation knowledge of Christ, okay, you'll recognize that. Now, truth, which comes through covenant apostles, redirects faith back into the spiritual priesthood of Christ, okay, by setting in order the whole stones of the doctrine of Christ in the heart. And it is upon this altar that faith can be expressed with sanctified tools and ordered knowledge, which is acceptable and pleasing in the sight of God. then believers will share that common experience of Christ, okay, in his fullness, and live by faith free of those endless and fruitless cycles which only led to despair. And I think we're going to stop right there for now, and we'll pick up here next time.